Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. If you or someone you love receives Social Security, you need to hear this right now. This is because of what just came out in federal court. It could be the biggest betrayal that we've ever seen in the Medicare system, guys. Today is Thursday, May the 1st, 2025. And what I'm about to share with you, it's jaw-dropping. In fact, a massive lawsuit just dropped, and it's explosive. The U.S. government is accusing some of the biggest names in the healthcare industry. We're talking about Aetna, Humana, Elevance, and several other major brokers of secretly scheming to take advantage of people like me and you. Now, we're talking about hundreds of millions in dirty money, illegal kickbacks, and most gut-wrenching, the allegedly discriminated, guys, this is bad. They allegedly discriminated against disabled Social Security recipients, guys. Disabled people. You got to be out of your mind, right? Because they were seen as less profitable. Unbelievable. So what I'm thinking is, you guys let me know if I'm correct or incorrect. If you're disabled, do you get SSDI or is it SSI? Let me know how that works. I'm not really sure which one you might receive, but that's right, guys. While you were, or at least while you thought you were being guided toward the best Medicare plan, you may have actually been deliberately steered away, not because of what's in your best interest or, best for your health, but because maybe someone was chasing a big fat commission check. Now, a whistleblower came forward with evidence that could blow this lid off the entire Medicare Advantage industry, and the Justice Department says that they actually have the receipts. Now, I just wanted to get this video out real quick. I'm not going to edit this or anything. I just wanted to get this information out there. I'll put some helpful links in the description down below this video so that you can look into it for yourself. But I just wanted to, because it was breaking news. It literally just came out like a couple of hours ago. So in today's video, we're going to, just reveal exactly how these companies got caught, which brokers were involved, see if maybe one of them is a broker that you're doing business with right now, and what this means for your Social Security. Like, if you're on Social Security or Medicare, you need to know what this means for you, right? Also, why this particular case could lead to criminal charges. If this is true, do you think someone needs to go to jail for this? Just a quick yes or no down below, guys. If you haven't already, also drop a quick like for the video for getting this information out there, and definitely consider subscribing to the channel for more breaking news content like this. So, one executive was caught saying the quiet part out loud, that reducing the number of disabled enrollees made their team jazzed. Let that sink in for a second, okay, guys? Like, what does that mean to you? This isn't just a lawsuit. This is a wake-up call. Now, stick with me, because what you're about to hear could affect millions of Americans, and it could change how you protect your own health care for good, or maybe even the health care of your parents. So let's get into the heart of it. And by the way, if you take care of an elderly parent, just let me know in the comments down below. You can just drop a quick yes. I want to know who's actually watching this show right now today. All right, because this isn't just some boring bureaucratic legal spat thing going on here, guys. This is about how your Medicare plan may have been corrupted from the inside out. Okay, so the federal government just exposed a massive kickback scheme involving three of the biggest insurance giants in the country: Aetna, Humana, and Elevance, formerly known as Anthem. Now, prosecutors are saying that these companies, they paid hundreds of millions of dollars in illegal kickbacks to brokers. And not just one or two. We're talking about eHealth, GoHealth, and SelectQuote. Have you guys heard of any of these companies? But they didn't call them kickbacks. Of course not. These payments were disguised. They were dressed up as innocent looking marketing reimbursement, or maybe even admin costs, right? But in reality, it was dirty money, guys. I'm just going to adjust my camera just so I can get a little bit better lighting. It's starting to get a little dark out here. Is that any better, guys? Let me know if that's a little bit better. I don't want to get dark out, but I also wanted to enjoy a little bit of nature today. But it was dirty money. Now, a reward, basically a reward system for pushing unsuspecting Medicare recipients into plans that would maximize profits, not maximize patient care. Does that sound fair to you? Now, guys, this was never about what's best for you. This was about which company could write the biggest check to control your decision. And as bad as that sounds, what they did next is even worse. They weren't just rigging the game, they were actively discriminating against the most vulnerable among us. Now, under the Medicare Advantage system, what you know as Medicare Part C, private insurers are supposed to compete or give you better service, right? But when brokers get paid more to sell certain kinds of plans, then they're no longer working for you. That doesn't sound like a very fiduciary relationship, does it? They end up working for whoever pays them the most money, period. So what happened? Just take a wild guess. What happened, guys? Brokers started pushing seniors and disabled Americans into plans that they made the most money off of, not the plans that met their medical needs. So I immediately think of either SSI or SSDI in this case. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. So imagine needing like dental or vision care, or, maybe you got some kind of chronic issue and you need regular support, right? And getting a plan that doesn't even cover it, all because your broker was chasing a bonus, even though there was a better plan out there, but they didn't get paid as much. So imagine they didn't offer you the best plan. They offer you the plan that would pay them the most. Is that fair? Like, that isn't just shady. It's actually dangerous, because some people have life-threatening circumstances. And if that's you, just drop a quick yes in the comments, guys. Let me know where you stand on this. So guess what? The internal audits, the whistleblower evidence, it shows they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. And you just wait until you hear what these companies allegedly said about disabled Americans, how they intentionally tried to keep them off their books. It's just disgusting when you think about it. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but don't go anywhere, guys, because here's what next actually comes. I'm almost disturbed to share this, guys, but what comes next, it may have happened to someone in your own family. And if it has, you let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. The story is not over. In fact, it affects every Social Security beneficiary out there. Now, before we get to the most disturbing part of the story, how disabled Americans were allegedly targeted and filtered out, let me share something very important with you, because this is something that can actually help you right now. Now, here's a little known fact. The average person chooses a suboptimal Medicare plan, and they end up overpaying by hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year. Not because they did anything wrong, but because the system is confusing. And too many so-called advisors, they're just out there to make a sale. They're out there to make a quick buck. That's where Chapter comes in, guys. We're fixing what's broken, all right? With a smarter, unbiased approach. Chapter compares every single plan available in your area without the gimmicks, without pressure, and without being paid more to push one plan over another. Real people are seeing real savings, guys. I'm talking about, look at Julie in Kansas. She's already saving $400 a year. Jamie in Texas, $600 back into her Social Security check. That's real money in real pockets, because Chapter is putting people first. Their mission actually started with helping their own parents. And so now they're helping thousands, and they might just be able to help you out too. So before you make another Medicare decision, give our friends over at Chapter a call. Their phone number is 909-563-8279. Or you can also visit them on the web, askchapter.org/Ron. That's askchapter.org/Ron. Medicare optimized, because you deserve better, okay? So I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below, as well as their phone number. So yeah, let's get back to the heart of this scandal, because what you're about to hear next, guys, it's probably going to leave you stunned. So these companies weren't just greedy. They allegedly targeted people with disabilities, and they tried to erase them from the bottom line. Wow, right? So this is where it gets deeply personal and absolutely disgraceful. So the lawsuit accuses Aetna and Humana of something that, if it's true, this crosses every moral line. According to the complaint, they pressured brokers to avoid signing up disabled Americans because they were seen as too expensive, too much of a risk. Let that sink in, right? People on Social Security, disability, already facing daily battles with their health, they were being filtered out, rejected, and avoided like some kind of a burden. In one internal message, a Humana executive criticized a broker for enrolling too many people under the age of 65. Now, who qualifies for Medicare under 65? People with disabilities. That's not cool, guys. So one email bragged that the share of disabled people in a plan dropped from 25% to 15%. Another Aetna executive admitted that they knew it was illegal, calling it a compliance risk and a very big no-no. But they did it anyway. So this isn't just about health insurance. This is about discrimination. Guys, we're talking about people who helped build this country. Some of these people are disabled because they were building the country. They paid into the system and they were promised care in return. You paid into Social Security, you paid into Medicare, right? And the only reason that we know any of this is because of one brave whistleblower. They stepped forward. And this whistleblower triggered a legal response that could bring the whole house of cards crashing down. The government didn't just criticize these companies. The government actually, they filed a federal complaint under the False Claims Act, also known as the FCA. So what does this mean, right? Well, it means the DOJ, and I'm thinking, Pam Bondi's going to be all over this thing here. The DOJ believes these insurers and brokers may have defrauded the federal government, your tax dollars, by submitting claims that were tied to illegal conduct. And here's the kicker. If they're found guilty, the government could recover 3 times what it lost, plus some serious penalties. Now, that's potentially billions of dollars in taxpayer money tied to manipulated Medicare enrollment. Now, think about how, if the government can reclaim, assuming that, if the government finds out that all of this is true, this would be 3 times, potentially 3 times more money recovered. And I believe that this would fall under the DOGE Department of Government Efficiency clawback, right? And that would add to the amount of money recovered through fraud, waste, and abuse. Might even be all 3 here. And this could add to the amount of the DOGE dividend stimulus refund checks that we've been hearing so much about. Now, last we checked, and I didn't check it today, I think the DOGE dividend refund amount saved or recovered is up to like $160 billion. But whatever the case is, this would likely be added to that figure, increasing the amount of DOGE dividend stimulus check that could be dispersed. But anyway, the entire case started because of this whistleblower clause that's built into the FCA, where everyday people can sue on behalf of the government when they see corruption. And so we're going to talk about what that whistleblower, who that whistleblower is and what they expose in just a second. But, man, this is a $1 billion scheme potentially, and the secret emails that they brought with them. So, guys, if you're angry right now, you should be. Disabled Americans were not forgotten. They were actively targeted and they were pushed aside. So, guys, hit the like button and share this video, and don't miss what we're about to reveal right next. So, this entire $1 billion scheme, possibly multi-billion-dollar scheme, it might have stayed buried if it wasn't for one person. This was a former eHealth employee. They didn't even work there anymore, who had seen it all from the inside. They stepped forward. They filed what is known as a qui tam lawsuit under the whistleblower provision of the False Claims Act. One little guy, one person. So this means that they had the guts to sue on behalf of the United States government, knowing the kind of power that they were up against. That took a lot of guts. This isn't just some legal footnote, guys. This is proof that the system can be challenged if somebody's brave enough to speak up. Can we get an amen for this person that came forward? So their lawsuit pulled the curtain back on what was really going on inside these insurance giants: fraud, discrimination, corporate greed masquerading as care. And once the feds saw what this person uncovered, they didn't just thank them. They took over the case. It almost makes you wonder if that guy that took out the, what was that healthcare CEO's name? Do you guys remember his name? It makes you wonder if like, what was his motivation? Anyway, because this wasn't just one bad broker or one rogue insurer. The DOJ now is basically saying that it was a coordinated conspiracy. Oh, this thing goes deep. So federal prosecutors, they're alleging that companies like Aetna and Humana strategically worked hand in hand with broker firms like eHealth, GoHealth, and SelectQuote. Have you guys heard of any of these companies? So their goal was manipulate Medicare enrollments together while handing their illegal tactics behind carefully worded contracts and some fake marketing reimbursements. Wow. They allegedly built a system where brokers were financially punished if they didn't push enough people into the right, aka most profitable plans. Unbelievable. These are plans that might not have been right for you. Maybe your parents, your mom, your dad, your grandma, you know what I mean? Or maybe even the disabled neighbor down the street just trying to get through one more month. Some people are, this economy, the inflation, the market, you know, it's weighing on people, right? And then you got people out here that are putting folks who are possibly on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, barely scraping by on a fixed income on a plan that costs too much and it doesn't even cover what they need. So the little extra money they had is filling somebody else's check. That's why we have Chapter. So if you haven't already called Chapter, it's totally free. They're an amazing company, and they're helping people find the right plans, even if it's not profitable for them. They're just putting people in where they need to be. That's amazing, right? Anyway, so this was intentional deception. This was across multiple companies over many years. And what I'm about to share with you guys, this web of greed, it didn't just mess with the patient care. This was designed to dominate the entire Medicare Advantage market. So I need to show you guys how this was about power. This was about profit. This was about crushing the competition. So if you think that these companies should be held accountable, just drop a quick comment that says, "Not on my watch," okay? Because we are just getting started. Guys, this story runs way deeper than most people realize. So let's go ahead and pull a curtain back just a little bit on how brokers were being trained to deceive. Now, according to the complaint, the brokers didn't just go rogue. They were following an incentivized script. Employees were reportedly rewarded to sell only certain plans, only the ones that paid the biggest kickbacks. Entire teams were created solely to push these specific plans. And guess what? If you didn't fall in line, you didn't get the bonuses. Maybe you didn't even get to keep your job. So who's at fault? Is it the people who pushed it? Is it the CEOs of these companies? Well, some brokers were even banned from offering plans from insurers who refused to play the kickback game. I can't make this stuff up, guys. You heard that right. If a Medicare plan, and I'm going to leave some helpful links for you guys down below if you want to see for yourself. If a Medicare plan didn't grease the palms of the broker, you might never even hear about it. Even if it was, if it was the best, if it was the best fit for your personal needs. So this wasn't about empowering the patient. This was about squeezing every last freaking cent out of the most vulnerable people here in America. Do I have anybody in here on SSI or SSDI? Y'all let me know. And so what did these companies do with that power? They turned it into a weapon to steamroll competitors and carve out a near monopoly on your healthcare decisions. all at the expense of many Social Security recipients and beneficiaries. It's pretty jacked up, man. Medicare Advantage, it's not a side hustle, it's a multi-billion-dollar empire. And these companies, they weren't just fighting fair to win your business. They were allegedly rigging the market itself. The lawsuit claims this entire kickback broker scheme was a long game to dominate market share. Now think about that, guys. They weren't just steering people toward these bad plans. They were also pushing out competitors who refused to cheat with them. So, and one of the biggest bombshells, Elevance reportedly paid $230 million in under-the-table payments to one broker by the name of GoHealth just to flood their plans with enrollments. Now, of course, this is all allegedly. It's not proven yet. It's not confirmed. But that's just one broker executive allegedly. This is what one broker allegedly said about Aetna's plan. So, translation of this is, we know the product is trash, but if the payouts are big enough, well, we'll go ahead and sell that crap anyway. How's that legal? Oh, it's not legal. And so that's why the DOJ stepped in. And it's not just corporate greed, it's market sabotage. And next, I got to tell you guys about how the federal agents are now and some key government officials are closing in fast, and why this case could set a precedent for the entire healthcare industry. Hey guys, those of you guys just now joining live, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who may have Aetna or Humana or eSignal Health or any of these other companies that I mentioned, because they may need to know about this, because this is breaking news. It literally came out just a couple of hours ago. Also, we got the HHS, who was led by RFK Jr. We got the FBI involved. The DOJ are involved. The director of Medicare just sent a warning shot, guys. So if you're as outraged as we are, drop a fire in the comments right now. And I want you guys to let others know that this fight matters, okay? Because we need to talk about the highest levels of government that are responding to this, guys, and who might actually be the first to fall. Now, this isn't just some courtroom fight anymore. This is a federal priority involving the DOJ, the FBI, HHS, Office of Inspector General, and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Massachusetts. They're not pulling punches. So Deputy Assistant Attorney General Michael Granston, this guy came out swinging, saying that they're committed to exposing healthcare companies that profit off kickbacks and deception. And U.S. Attorney Leah Foley, she didn't mince words either. She's calling out the discrimination against disabled Americans unconscionable. It's bad, guys. So, if you thought this was just some political theater, think again. It's much bigger than that. At the Senate confirmation hearing back in March, the new director of Medicare, Dr. Oz, he made a bold pledge to crack down on industry tactics that funnel questionable payments through Medicare Advantage plans. The government's sending a message. If you manipulate Medicare, you're going to answer for it. And the lawsuit could very well just be the first domino. But while investigators are building their case, the fallout is already hitting hard on Wall Street and across the media. Where do you see the healthcare stocks that could be implicated in this thing, okay? The moment the lawsuit became public, the ripple effects were immediate. Wall Street Journal had recently, they had already been digging into shady practices at other Medicare giants like United Health. Oh, that was the United Healthcare CEO. I was trying to remember them. That guy. I wonder if Luigi Mangione had, I wonder what his motives were and if it might have been related to this. But anyway, so now it's front page news. The stocks of GoHealth, Elevance, and Humana, all those stocks plummeted within hours. Billions of dollars in stock market value vanished because the truth finally hit the surface. And with every leaked email, every internal quote, every damning allegation, the public is waking up. This isn't a mistake. This was a system designed to enrich corporations by exploiting Social Security recipients who trust them. Wow. So the media is watching. The public's angry and the feds are circling. So the real question, the big question is what happens next? Who's going to be held accountable, right? And most importantly, how can you protect yourself from being caught up in the middle of one of these, in the middle of a system like this that puts profits over people? Well, of course, we got to talk about the fallout for beneficiaries. Millions may have already been misled. So the real question is, are you one of them? Because you might be one of them and don't even know it yet. So smash the like button, guys, if you guys are standing up for people who cannot fight back. And keep watching, because I'm going to break down exactly how this scandal could have impacted you or someone you love, and specifically what steps you could take to try to fight back. Now, of course, the companies named in this lawsuit are scrambling to respond. You got CVS Health, which owns Aetna. You got Humana, both saying they disagree with the allegations and are preparing to fight the case in court. You got GoHealth insisting that the accusations include misrepresentations and that they've always followed the regulations. Now, hey, I'm not here to judge. We have to wait to see what comes out in court. At this point, all of these claims are allegations. They're not officially certified in court yet, so to speak. But here's what they're not doing. They're not denying that hundreds of millions of dollars changed hands. They're not denying that brokers were trained to sell certain plans over others. And they're not denying that disabled and elderly people were being filtered out. Meanwhile, other companies named in the complaint, they ain't said nothing. No apology, no explanation, just silence. But that silence speaks volumes. Because if this were all just a misunderstanding, there would be shouting from the rooftops, right? But while lawyers argue and companies hide behind their PR teams, real people, Social Security beneficiaries, they're left wondering, hey, did this happen to me? Was I pushed into the wrong plan? Was I rejected just because I'm disabled? Well, you wait just a minute, guys, because I'm going to break down how this scheme may have impacted you, your parents, your neighbor, someone you care about, someone you work with who you see dealing with some pain constantly, what it could mean for their Social Security or their health care coverage. You guys hear that bird? There's a little bird. He's so cute. He's like just chirping his little head off. Anyway, do you guys like birds? Anyway, I love nature that's not annoying. Like there's gnats at a barbecue. Those are annoying. I don't like that kind of nature. I like cute nature. Anyway, but here's something most people don't realize. The average person picks the wrong Medicare plan. They end up overpaying by hundreds of dollars every year. Not because they made a bad choice, but because the system is already set up to confuse you. And that's why I recommend Chapter. They compare every plan in your area without bias, without pressure, no backroom deals, no gimmicks, just clear answers that are tailored to you. You got people who are just like you, who are saving real money. You got Julie in Kansas, $400 a year. Jamie in Texas, she landed $600 right back into her Social Security check. Tell me that won't put a smile on your face, right? And so that's not marketing, guys. This is a mission. And it started with their own parents. So if you're on Medicare or helping someone who is, just take 5 minutes today and call our friends at Chapter at 909-563-8279 or visit askchapter.org/Ron. It's totally free and it could change everything for you. So that's askchapter.org/Ron. So now let's talk about what happens when beneficiaries get in the wrong plan, not by accident, but by design. Because this next thing that I want to share with you guys is just how many Americans may have already been hurt by this scheme. So let's get a little personal now. Because this isn't just about headlines and legal jargon, it's about people. So if you're on Social Security, if you rely on Medicare Advantage, If someone helped you choose your plan, this scandal could have directly impacted your life. Now, guys, we're talking about millions of Americans who may have been misled into bad coverage, denied better options, or even targeted for exclusion because of a disability just to improve somebody's quarterly bonus numbers. Now, imagine thinking you're protected only to find out that your plan never actually had what you needed. That's not just inconvenient, that's life-threatening. And so this scandal isn't just about illegal profits, it's about stolen trust. It's about the people who paid into Social Security for decades only to be treated like liabilities instead of human beings. And if it happened once, it could probably happen again, right? But now the truth is coming out. So what happens next? Can the system be fixed? Is anybody going to go to jail? Do you think anybody needs to go to jail? And what can you do to protect yourself and your loved ones going forward? So all I ask, guys, is that you hit the like button, hit subscribe right now if you're tired of the vulnerable folks getting used and discarded. And we're not done, because I'm going to show you guys how to take back control, how to report fraud, and demand accountability, okay? So let's talk about the scale of this operation. Medicare Advantage isn't just some niche corner of the healthcare market anymore. It now covers about half of all Medicare enrollees. We're talking tens of millions of people here. And that's exactly why the scandal is so dangerous. The bigger the industry got, the more abuse was possible. And this isn't just a couple of shady actors in some back room. This is a system that was allegedly corrupted at the top, funneling billions of dollars in taxpayer money into the wrong hands between 2016 and 2021. And the worst part, it's probably still happening. So how do we know this wasn't just sloppiness, right? Because the leaked internal communications tell us everything. More money will help drive more sales. Your product is dog shit. Excuse my language. That's what they said. Basically, we should not be talking about this. Very big no-no. Aetna was jazzed that we could cut disabled enrollees from 25% to 15%. They knew exactly what they were doing. They talked about disabled people like statistics. They celebrated reducing their presence. They labeled basic human decency as a compliance risk. But now the pressure's rising. But with this lawsuit on the books, you got the DOJ, the HHS, the FBI, Medicare Director Mehmet Oz. They're all under fire to clean house. Investigations are expanding. Whistleblowers, they're coming forward. Whistleblowers are coming out the woodwork, folks. And the message is pretty clear. You can't exploit Social Security recipients and just walk away anymore. So this could mark the biggest shift in Medicare oversight in decades, but only if we, the people, keep the pressure on. So guys, if you made it this far, I want you to understand the truth. This is bigger than insurance. This is about dignity. This is about protecting people who already paid into the system. If you're getting Social Security benefits, you've paid into the system. This is about fighting back against a machine that tried to squeeze the most vulnerable among us for profits. And now the spotlight's on. The whistleblowers are talking, the feds are moving, and people are waking up. Now, if you think that you or a loved one were affected by some shady Medicare plan or maybe a broker manipulation, you can call 800 HHS tips. You can call it right now. That is your healthcare. That is your money. And this is your moment to say not anymore, guys. So all I ask is if you appreciated the information. I know this information just came right out. I didn't even get a chance to. I'm not even going to edit this video. I'm just going to throw it up. Hit the like button for the video. Share this video with someone who's on Medicare or Social Security. Subscribe to stay informed. Drop a comment down below. Drop a comment down below saying, I stand with the whistleblower. Because if it wasn't for the whistleblower, we would never even know anything about this. All right. Also, don't forget to give our friends over at Chapter a call. They're saving people money on a regular basis, and I'm really happy to be able to share that information with you guys. So I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you want to reach out to Chapter, you can call by phone at 909-563-8279, or you can hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.